Welcome back. And good morning. It's curtains for you. This was a temporary solution I came up with for a little more privacy. Held up with magnets. Everything in this bus is aluminum. Aluminum. The heads of the screws are steel, so I was able to get magnets to stick along here. This thing is kind of flimsy. Didn't do a great job of holding out light. We're going to upgrade to a blackout curtain. Total room darkening and insulating too. But this will never get held up with those same magnets. So we need a solution. Curtain rod was not going to work for me if it has to come straight across. Plus it would leave a big gap on top. I barely fit in this bus already. This is 6 feet high and I am 6'4". So our only solution is marine snaps. So what we're going to do is back out some of these screws. I was thinking maybe every fourth one. Without having to drill any new holes, we're going to attach the snap end to go in here. So let me show you what I got. Marine snaps. Put them in where you want. I use these to attach my rear curtains. I got some different ones now because I was running out. So we are going to be attaching the male end. Where are they? These up into the ceiling ribs. Now I would like to have screwed them in place, but the screw holes are pretty large. These are the screws that came out from the ceiling. So what we're going to end up doing is pop riveting them in. So I have 5/32 rivets, but the heads were a little large. The heads would not fit in. Rather than trying to hunt down smaller headed rivets, I just ground these down on my bench grinder very carefully. So now they will fit snugly inside. So let's pull out a few screws and pop rivet these up in place. These look like Phillips head screws, but they're really like a square head bit that really digs into these good to get them apart. Some of these are really tight, so work that one loose. See if this will fit. The nose of that I had to grind down a little bit smaller so it would fit in between there. So we'll get that popped in place. I am not enlarging the hole at all. It actually fit right in there pretty good, so it should be a snug fit. I could see the snap part of it mushroom down. Gotta squeeze it. Oh, tight. There we go. We'll do maybe 2 more, and then we'll start working on the curtain and see how well it actually holds up. I did make a full set of solar sun shields to cover all the windows, the windshield, even the side doors, and they work fantastic. But the issue we're having now is we've been parking in places where we don't want it to be obvious that we are camping. So this curtain will be twofold. It'll allow us to keep it very dark inside here. And I want to have a flap that'll be right here. This is 84 by 52 inch curtain. I got about 80 inches across the bus. So we'll have one of them end right here. So you'll be able to pull it to the side and then pop out. If we are also at a place where we are camping and plugged in and using our air conditioner or our heater, this will act as a little vestibule to come in and out, and not having all our heat or AC escape right out the door when we're going in and out. So it'll be purposeful for that too, and to keep it nice and private when we're parked in places where we maybe shouldn't be. We got 3 of them done for now. This will be enough to get us started. Now, I already have Velcro here for a hanging screen that I put up here, which I've used it once. So we're going to use that to also attach the sides of the curtain. I have some Velcro. This will be sewed later, but very quickly I just stapled it in here with a regular paper stapler to show me where it's going to need to be done. We want this to hang down maybe about an inch over here, and then attached to our sidewall. We want this to be actually contacting the floor lightly. By about an inch will be fine. And let's get the rest of this kind of stuck on here where I had another piece of Velcro. Now we need to figure out where we're going to put our snaps on. This is going to be an extremely tedious, long process, because I'm going to have to keep taking this thing down to install the snap. So this one here I have just a screw out. I want to see if I could kind of line up where I want, holding how much excess I want hanging on the bottom. This we just poked through with an awl, and we're folding it over so the excess will be on the inside. Later on we're going to just trim it off. Whether I sew it in some spots, I don't know if this material will run through my sewing machine. It might be too heavy. We got one installed. You put one more right there. Let's see if it snaps. These things got squished down pretty far, so listen. Yeah, all right. Haha. Like I said, it's gonna need a lot to hold a lot of weight up. All right, here's a little close-up of what we're doing. That's where our snap is going. We poked the hole, we slid it down so the hole would be nice and large. Now we're gonna carefully put this on right here. Since we made the hole big enough, it's already popping out, which is good. Put on our little piece that's going to go there. And you have the little anvil that has to come down and bend the snap over. So you hold down on the outside and you hammer down on this. Never used the hand pliers type, but I don't think you can get them as tight as that being beat down with a hammer. It's just very tedious because you have to keep unsnapping all of your work and put it back up and do the next one. So far, so good. You have to continue first with the rest of the barrels for the snaps. And in slow progress, one by one, get it hanging where we like. That took about 2 hours. I got one more snap to go over here. I'm gonna wait until I decide how we're gonna do the other panel here. I'm gonna have to cut it down a little bit smaller and where we're gonna get. I don't have access to these screws over here. So we will have to figure that out in another day. We have a little excess material to trim off. We did every 4, but then in the last one here I did only skipped 1 and had it end there. And this way the next one will probably snap right next to this one and have a little bit overhanging on this side, or on the inside actually. And this way I could just pull this back and get out, and then have it flop back in place. And with the snaps, I could just take this down and store it when I don't need it, which is probably about 80% of the time when we're using this. So this will be good for a couple different things. And if I really want to go crazy, what I used to do with this one also is when we're driving with my family in here, we have air conditioning coming back here when it really doesn't need to be. So I would hang that one up over here with the magnets and keep all the cool air in the front. So if I want to, I could put the same snaps here and utilize that one side to do our partition in the rear over here. That may be a future project. Okay, continuing the next day, we gotta put up our other piece. We just want it to kind of hang over the other one. I would say on the inside, we'll have this one on the outside. So we'll put another snap right next to this snap and just have more material, bunch up that way. So let's pull that one out and we'll pull same thing. Snap, 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 which is perfect right there. And then we get over to this piece. I won't be able to get to any of these because they're hidden by the wood that's covered with this vinyl. So we'll just probably screw a few of the barrels like right in here and drop it straight down. Maybe a rivet right here. We want the curtain to go behind our little table holder, so we could have that set up right by the curtain here if we're sitting back here. That should work. All right, all the snaps are snapped. You got two on that flat piece over here. We got another one tucked in over there, another one down here, and the rest of this excess, gonna have to cut off, but we just probably put a piece of Velcro down on that little gray piece of plastic to kind of hold that piece in there. So let's use some masking tape to kind of make a line on where we want to cut off the excess. I'll pull it out, lay it on the table, and trim this thing down. I got my sewing sweatshop set up in here. This we're just cutting off the excess. I don't even know if I'm gonna sew this. I might just take a lighter with a flame and just run it along the edge to kind of melt the fabric edge together. That actually might work. We're being generous with our cut. Could always cut it smaller. I'll run a couple of staples here. I could pull them out later. I don't want the fabric to move. We got a lot of excess that we can make other stuff out of. Perfect. This fabric is some type of polyester, so yes, it will melt. So we're just taking along our edge that we cut a lighter and melting and sealing the end of the fabric off. Don't set yourself on fire, please. Or if you're using cotton material, this is not going to work. But that's good enough to keep it from fraying. I don't have to go and run it into a sewing machine. I'm going to end up running the other piece just to tie the things together. Grandma's sewing machine. I keep breaking belts on this thing and I haven't been able to find the correct one, so we put rubber bands on here until they break. Sometimes we put multiples. One might do it. I think we're going to need two. Put the pedal to the metal. Don't want to lose our thread. Want to learn how to sew? Do what I did. Go on YouTube. Watch videos. It's really not that hard. The hardest part is just setting up the machine. Look, Grandma, one hand. We're only gonna just go through like this, and I'll flame seal the edge after I cut it off closer to the seam. That will work for what we're doing. I got to put the camera down because I need both hands. So how did we do? Not bad. We only broke 2 rubber bands. I'm running out of rubber bands. I have to get the right one for this thing. Antique New Home sewing machine. This thing was built, I think, in the late 60s. Made in Japan. It's an excellent machine. Pick one up on a garage sale or wherever you could find one. Could be a little heavy duty, but for what it is, I love it. Thanks, Grandma. The little Velcro pieces. This machine will never sew them on, so I'm going to sew them on by hand. With the scraps, we made some blackout curtains. Just held up with magnets. Oh, nice view. Looks pretty dark. Oh, the lights are on. And the lights are on.
If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor. Like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.